Tell me, have you ever asked yourself this question? How do I get a screenwriting agent and manager? Well, I'm Brianna with Scriptwriter Pro, and this just so happens to be the most popular question we get here. So we thought that we'd finally demystify the process of how to gain the attention of screenwriting agents and managers. Let's get into it. So this is also a guide on what a screenwriting agent and literary manager actually do, and how they can help your career in different ways. Part of the problem, however, is that getting a screenwriting agent or manager can often feel very elusive, almost like a dream that only the special writers get to fulfill. It's not. It just takes a handful of things all coming together: persistence, a strong desire to succeed, and a highly developed writing ability. Screenwriting Agents and Managers 101. The business side of a screenwriter's life is largely handled by 3 different representatives. Each of them handles a unique area of their career: a screenwriting agent, a screenwriting manager, also known as a literary manager, and an attorney. Screenwriting agents. Screenwriting agents and attorneys handle legal matters. They'll be there for you when you're looking to close a deal on a script sale. Screenplay agents generally take a 10% cut of that deal, and attorneys will take 5%. However, they normally won't help you set up general meetings or offer you much feedback on your writing. They'll often be in communication with you only when it's necessary. In general, screenwriting agents tend not to have the time or the inclination to help your screenwriter career. They're all about the sell. They'll be there for you when you've reached that point in your career when you have something to sell and need to negotiate a deal. In spite of what you may have heard, screenwriting agents almost never respond to query letters or unsolicited submissions. The legal risks are too great, and the slush pile of submissions will also be too great. Screenwriting managers. The role of a screenwriting manager or literary manager is very different from that of a script agent. Screenwriting managers will often be there to hold your hand from day one and guide you as a writer. The top literary managers for screenwriters will help you mold your career, hone your voice, and focus on your craft. This hands-on approach of screenwriting managers means, in a sense, they can be viewed as the gatekeepers to the industry. They discover talented new writers and deliver them to producers, studios, and television networks. A good screenwriting manager will read your work, give notes, and help you develop it to a place where it's the best it can be. A script agent is more likely to take you on when it's ready to be sold. Screenplay managers love the hustle. They love marketing, networking, and kickstarting new writers' careers. For this reason, literary managers are usually much more willing than screenwriting agents to accept unsolicited submissions and take on unknown writers, especially at the smaller literary management companies. Should you try to get a screenwriting agent or manager first? While screenwriting agents are tremendously useful once you've got a deal lined up for some serious coin, they're usually not the kind of representation an inspiring screenwriter should be looking for. Screenwriting agents usually have anywhere from 30 to 60 unique clients. Screenwriting managers rarely have more than 15 or 20. Because of their shorter roster of clients, a literary manager is likely to have more time for you. So you should target screenwriting managers first. Overall, screenplay agents seem to be very focused and stressed, whereas screenwriting managers are often more laid back, more like an encouraging sports team coach. As previously mentioned, a good literary manager will help you as a writer, pick a new concept worth your time, read your scripts, and give you notes over successive drafts. Then, when you and your work are ready to be promoted, they'll help you line up an agent. This is because screenwriting managers and agents tend to share clients, and most agents only discover new clients through personal referrals. And it's easy to understand why. Referrals and recommendations are already vetted and endorsed. Often, the personal relationships screenwriting managers have with agents in Los Angeles or elsewhere are fundamental to getting a writer signed. The superior networking skills of most Hollywood literary managers could well put you in touch with producers and studio execs too. If you have a strong relationship with a producer, they may be able to reach out to screenwriting agents on your behalf. Or perhaps you know an agent yourself. Then you have other options. But if you're new to the business and don't know anyone in the industry, you're better off targeting screenwriting managers first. How to get a screenwriting agent and manager. Step 1. Make sure your writing is exceptional before even thinking about approaching anyone. You need to make sure your work truly stands a chance. This means getting feedback on your screenplay or screenplays from friends who work in the industry. if you know any. If you don't, then check out some professional script coverage services. They will give your script an industry standard rating of either pass, consider, or recommend. This is a good way of getting a feel for what kind of shape your script's in. Whatever grade you receive, your script will probably need some work. But a recommend will need very little before you start sending it out to Hollywood agents and managers. A pass, though, will need a lot. Why you should never query screenwriting agents and managers before you're ready. There's no way around this part. In order to ultimately attract high-caliber representation that will change your life, you have to generate life-changing material that will attract a stellar team. If your work's not ready yet, it's time to take a deep breath, slow down, and keep improving your craft. Keep reading screenplays, writing constantly, getting some high-quality script coverage, and continue to grow as a screenwriter. Then, once you get a strong consider or recommend, write another. Ideally, you want to only try getting a screenwriting agent or manager once you have 2 or 3 high-quality scripts in your portfolio. This is because the first question any script agent or literary manager will ask you is, what else have you got? Screenwriting managers and agents are looking for real screenwriters with a future in the business. And that means writers who can demonstrate an ability to consistently produce stellar material. Sending out material that's not ready to be sent out is probably the #1 mistake aspiring screenwriters make. How to get a screenwriting agent and manager step 2. Pen a great query letter. There's much controversy these days over whether screenwriting query letters still work, or if they're a relic from some golden age of Hollywood that's long past. While they do still work in many cases, it's not a particularly great strategy for approaching screenwriting agents. Agents generally don't look at query letters. With dozens of clients all vying for their time, they're stressed enough as it is. However, we do recommend writing a good query letter and sending it to screenwriting managers. The return on your time may not be fantastic. You may only get 1 reply out of every 100 queries you send out, but it's better than doing nothing. If you have a great query letter and at least 2 kick-ass screenplays in your portfolio, you stand a good chance of gaining the attention of a literary manager. How to write a script query letter. Screenwriting managers field dozens of query emails a week, and the best way to stand out is brevity and clarity. Keep your screenplay query letters short, friendly, and engaging. There's no need to mention accolades from unheard of screenwriting institutions or contests because, frankly, they won't care. What they're interested in is your logline, short synopsis, and if you sound like an intelligent and communicative person. Here's a query letter that gained one of our readers' representation. Screenplay query letter sample #1. Subject line, Bourne-esque action thriller from a contest-winning writer. Email body, Dear Name Here. What would you do if you saw a face on a missing person poster that looked exactly like you? Well, that's exactly what's happened to Ethan Monroe, a British expat who's come to the States to start a new career. When he discovers this poster and delves into his cloudy past, he finds holes and secrets that reveal he may not be who he thinks he is at all. The Osiris Vendetta mixes action and intrigue with exciting, memorable characters and a twist you will not see coming. My last 2 thrillers placed highly in industry contests, with my script Feral winning the all-access competition. I look forward to your request to read the script. Thanks for your time. As with much to do with screenwriting, there are no hard and fast rules when it comes to writing a query letter for a screenplay. There are a few things you'll want to avoid, however. #1, going on too long. Screenwriting managers are busy people, just like the rest of us, so make sure you keep your script query letter to 3/4 of a page or less. #2, sloppy presentation. This letter is your first impression, so it needs to be faultless. Avoid at all costs typos, spelling mistakes, grammar irregularities, wonky formatting, etc. So basically, get someone to proofread it first. #3, overdoing it. Just send the screenwriting query letter and nothing else. No fancy fonts, no brightly colored banners, no pictures, no video clips, and don't attach the actual screenplay, treatment, or character list either. How to get a screenwriting agent and manager step 3. Seek out people to send your script query letter to. As we've already mentioned, attracting the attention of screenwriting agents via cold query letters is highly improbable. So focus on screenwriting managers with your queries. Here are a couple of points to consider as you do your research. Genre. It's advisable these days for newbie writers to stick to one genre. Look for managers who work with writers with a similar style to yours. For instance, if your niche is writing dark romantic comedies, make a list of your favorite movies in that genre. Then find out who wrote them and who they're represented by. Start small. You're probably more likely to find success targeting small screenwriting managers and literary management companies with smaller client lists than the big boys of the industry. Newer managers who are maybe just starting out on their own are likely to be more driven and hungry to find the next big breakthrough writer. IMDb Pro. If you haven't already, also sign up for IMDb Pro. This has taken over the Hollywood Creative Directory as the go-to resource for screenwriting managers and screenwriting agents. On IMDb Pro, you'll find the contact details of everyone you could ever want to get in touch with, the movies they've worked on, are developing, and the writers who are signed with them. Referrals. This is a referral business. The very best way to get a screenwriting agent or manager is to befriend someone who knows one and get them to recommend you. If you have friends or family members with industry connections who are willing to go out on a limb for you, so much the better. Being referred to a manager or agent from someone they know and trust is probably the easiest way to gain representation. The annual Original Blacklist, released every December, is another terrific and free resource for finding screenwriting managers. You can read all of the log lines for the most popular scripts of the year, find projects that seem similar to yours, and discover the names of representation behind each project. Online pitch sites. The Blacklist website, an offshoot of the annual Best Spec Scripts of the Year list, is a good first point of call. The site works on the premise that you upload your screenplay, whereupon it can be spotted by screenwriting agents and screenplay managers. You can become a member as a guild or non-guild screenwriter. Stage 32 enables new writers to pitch industry personnel such as execs, screenwriting managers, producers, and screenwriting agents virtually. The benefit here, you don't have to pay to go to pitch festivals anymore. Now, you can do it from the comfort of your own living room. Inktip is another good choice. Again, it involves uploading your screenplay and/or logline to the website where screenwriting agents, producers, and literary managers can find it. And, as with Blacklist, you can track who's viewing your script and what they think of it. New and hungry screenwriting managers, in particular, use online screenwriting pitch sites like these to find all those hot screenplays that have scored highly on their quality charts. Networking. For those who aren't lucky enough to have any connections in the industry, get out there and start going to places screenwriting agents and screenwriting managers are likely to be. These include writers groups. Go on Stage 32 and meetup.com and join a writing group. Not only will you get valuable feedback on your work, but you may meet your first screenwriting manager or agent. Festivals and conferences. Screenwriting conferences, film festivals, pitch festivals are all perfect places to network. Coffee shops, bars, gyms near agencies and/or companies. Screenwriting agents and managers are likely to be hanging out in places near their workplaces. So take advantage of that. If it's a feasible option, consider moving to LA. Here's the thing. It's all about having a great couple of scripts and then putting yourself in places where you're most likely to either meet people who work in the industry or know someone who already does. Screenwriting contests. Winning or placing highly in one of the best screenwriting contests can be a good way of grabbing the attention of screenwriting managers and screenwriting agents. Focus on the script competitions that promise the winners meetings rather than just prize money. The top contests, such as the Nickel and the Austin Film Festival Screenplay Contest, are pretty much guaranteed to put you in touch with the producers, screenwriting agents, and literary managers if you place highly. How to get a screenwriting manager and agent. Step 4. Submit your screenplay query letter. Many screenplay managers will only get back to you if they like what they read, in which case they'll request the whole script. While screenplay query letters can be a useful tool in your armory, they shouldn't be relied upon. You should be using all the online and offline methods detailed already. Create a spreadsheet. Being able to track which screenwriting managers and agents you've submitted to and staying organized is paramount. Create a spreadsheet, adding the details of each screenwriting manager and/or agent you want to contact. However, don't go overboard and create a list of 800 names. Start with a small list of around 20 or 30 of your ideal script managers. Then add another 30 once you've submitted to all of them. Check the company's submission policy. Take your time to find out what each screenwriting manager's submission policy is first before sending any material. Just like with screenwriting agents, not all screenwriting managers are keen on receiving unsolicited material from new writers. Many will only read queries from writers who've been referred by someone they know and trust in the industry. Stay personal. Individually craft each query before sending it out. And always get the name of the person you want to query, whether it's the manager themselves or their assistant. Ideally, call the company and ask who you should send your query to, as this can be a great way of starting a connection. However, if you're not at all confident on the phone, email instead. Generally, you want to get the name of an assistant at a Hollywood management company rather than the founder. Choose the right time. What's the best time to send screenplay query letters or emails? What's the best time of day? Season of the year? There aren't many hard and fast rules other than never send a script query letter over the weekend and probably not on a Monday or Friday either. How to get a screenwriting agent and manager, step 5. Follow up. If your query isn't grabbing any screenwriting managers or agents, then you may or may not hear back. But don't get impatient and start pestering them with tons of follow-up emails. Give the manager or agent you submitted to enough reading time. If you haven't heard from them in 2 to 3 months, then an email or call is perfectly acceptable. In that time, you should have started seeing responses from other submissions one way or another. You may get your material returned to you simply with a compliment slip, but hopefully you'll get at least a form letter. If you're lucky, a screenplay agent or manager may take the time to give you some personalized feedback, in which case, reach out and thank them. There's nothing to be lost in that situation by asking to contact them with more material down the line. If, after sending dozens of query letters, you get nothing but rejections, then it's time to assess why. Reread your query and take a good hard look at it. Ask yourself some tough questions such as, would I pay money to watch the events described in this log line up on screen? Is this the very best I can do, or can it be improved? Depending on your answers, it might be time to get back to work on the query letter. Go back to rewrite it, shorten it, make it more punchy and intriguing, or have a professional script doctor give you some feedback. By the way, going onto online forums to complain about screenwriting agents and managers isn't a good idea. Nor is complaining about them to other agents or managers a good idea either. Even though they're competitors, they still talk to one another. So you might get known for all the wrong reasons. The motto again here is, be polite and respectful at all times. The breakthrough. Let's say a screenplay manager or script agent wants to read your screenplay. Congratulations! Send it in with a short thank you note and nothing else. No character bios, treatment, or any other bells and whistles many novice screenwriters feel the need to submit. Or let's say you get a positive response from Company X and you're still waiting for Company Y to get back to you. There's no harm in calling Company Y and asking them if they've had a chance to look at your script. Say you've had interest in Company X and you're thinking of signing with them, but don't be arrogant about it. Just be polite and respectful. The good thing is screenwriting managers and agents genuinely want to find new talent. They want you just as badly as you want them, so you have more control in the situation than you may think. How to get a screenwriting agent and manager, step 6. Choose wisely. It's important to be aware that not all screenwriting managers are created equal. Some are far, far better at their jobs than others. Some will act as true mentors, guiding your career every step of the way. Others won't even bother to return your calls. Should your work receive a positive response from a screenwriting manager or agent, you will feel like you've been chosen. And likely you'll want to sign with whoever shows the least bit of interest. That's the wrong strategy though. Look for a similar wavelength. In order to get anything out of the relationship, it's important to focus on those screenwriting managers who are on your wavelength. Ideally, they should love not only your writing, but the overall genre you're writing in. Take meetings with all of your potential reps and assess who's the best for you. Go with the one who shows the most detailed enthusiasm about your work. The one that seems keen to nurture you. The one you can sit in a room with and actually get along with. That's the one you want to sign with. Overall, assessing screenwriting managers and screenwriting agents is much like finding a lover. You both need to support one another through thick and thin, and you better make sure you keep each other excited. On that note, look for passion. Screenplay managers need to show a level of commitment to you as a writer and that they're going to promote the hell out of your work. This desire and ability to get you noticed shouldn't be underestimated. The last thing you want is to wind up with a manager whose idea of hustling is sending out 1 email a month. This is why going for the less established newbie screenwriting managers can often be a wise career move. These are the people with the passion to make things happen and who are actively building their client list and contacts. This isn't to say that you shouldn't also approach the veteran screenplay managers, as they can be fantastic too, but they may have less time for you than their big name clients. Do your research. Sign up to the Done Deal Pro and type in screenwriting managers or screenwriting agents. This site is one of the best for gossip and opinion about various reps. You can find out who's liked and who's loathed, which could very well save you from entering a toxic relationship with the wrong literary manager. For a start, a reputable script agent or manager will never ask you for money up front or a monthly fee. Apart from avoiding scam artists, the best thing you can do for your career is find a team of reps who love your work and really believe in your creative goals. The meeting. Don't just sign with the first literary manager or agent who asks to meet you. The meeting will likely feel like they're interviewing you, But this isn't entirely true. You're also interviewing them. It's important and difficult to realize that you're their employer and not the other way around. So don't be afraid to ask questions about who they regularly deal with or their way of working. Whether your work fits with their aims and vice versa should be a key part of the process. Don't try to put on a persona. Just be yourself. Cool, calm, and collected, but deadly serious about writing. The last thing you want is to give a prospective rep the impression you're going to be an annoying client. What happens after signing? You finally jumped through all the hurdles, met with a rockin' script agent, and signed on the dotted line. So, what's next? Well, now you need to learn how to pitch a movie idea. Depending on the status of your various projects, your work will be sent out in an appropriately strategic way. You'll meet with directors and other attachment elements, and you'll be sent out on what's known locally as the water bottle tour. This is an intense round of general, meaning informal, meetings. One or more of those meetings may generate future relationships and work for you. And if so, you're on your way. Securing screenwriting agents and managers. Conclusion. Always keep in mind that being a screenwriting agent or manager is a job, and a tough one at that. Just like a writer is only as good as his or her last screenplay, a script agent is only as good as his or her last sale. They can't spend time on small projects or projects that won't attract stars or directors or producers. It's important to keep a positive attitude when it comes to all aspects of business, but it is also important to be practical. Think of it this way. If a screenwriting agent only makes 10% on a deal, no one is going to take on a writer that doesn't have commercial appeal. Because if not, what's in it for them? Keep this in mind not only when hunting, but also when writing. The percentage of good screenwriters out there is infinitesimal, but you don't want to just be good. Getting a good screenwriting agent or manager requires you to be fantastic. The script comes first, yes. It's important to take your professional arc seriously, to strategize, to daydream, and to aspire. But the thing that will ultimately determine whether you snag a screenwriting agent or manager or not is the quality of your writing. If you've been an amateur so far, it can be a big and scary step to dip your toe into the waters of professionalism. But if you set the wheels in motion, persist, and if your writing is fantastic, you'll likely succeed. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up this video. If you have any questions at all, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. And also while you're down there, why don't you let us know? Do you know of any other ways to secure a screenwriting manager or agent? If you're enjoying this content, be sure to check out the rest of the videos on this channel and consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you can receive an alert anytime we upload. And finally, if you are in the market for affordable feedback on your script from a professional screenwriter, be sure to check out the link in the description bar below. Alrighty, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!